no for me sans mo nyina kwa ba de ba acromatics mo amani say acromatics the airport the ba and I bring a bibia the passport the go ran say ma chese John Dramani Mahama na kache na oho aye hyehyehye ato force finance minister na kache na oho aye hyehyehye a lensu meje ni nyina ebre acromatics so then no my yes say na do dan kwa kofo ado ofi abe mu no chese na economy ni e kama fan indicators na uja to ho no na indicators na chese SWNI and so kache they were all positive. I just said the economy was moving in the right direction. Out of 4 way, and I just say amount for just say omobo John Dramani Mahama and the finance minister to force it. Omobo to Japan and must say now when I must say economy was criminally mismanaged and just say evidence is about to that actually say economy no there is in the right direction and now say we in good shape and I knew about my babontin or say and some NDC for more Canada and thoughts you cry no so about bontin the evidence case here and no they are bad they are better bontin they are John Dramani Mahama finance minister to force him and because case power they are come on am so beginning na bre e wa commative so for my uncle na uncle just say when na chi university here.
So we have all been looking at the budget and be analyzing it. Congratulations to Kesela to Forsen for presenting the budget to Parliament. But a few questions I have for him. There's something really worrying me about the budget. You know, before the budget was presented, President John Dramani Mahama spoke about the Ghana's economic situation. He said that the economy led by Akufo-Addo had been criminally managed. I remember social media, people like Oliver Vomaho, Kweku Azai and others were saying that if it has been criminally managed, then it means that there are some criminals to be arrested. And I agree with them. But that's what President Mahama said, and it threw a lot of panic into many people's hearts. Even with MPP people, they were like, oh, really? Is that how bad we did? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So we're all waiting for government's budget to show us sort of how the economy had been criminally managed and what the NDC was going to do about it. So Kesela Forsen announced that he was going to give the budget to Parliament, and he announced the date. Few days before that, very few days before that, the Statistical Service of Ghana, which is neither MPP nor NDC, and which we all trust, came up with the economic data for 2024. And it showed refreshingly for the Akufo-Addo people that actually the economy had grown by 5.7%, remarkable growth, which the NDC first government was never able to achieve. And this has been achieved post-COVID, post-Ukraine war, whatever, post-everything, at 5.7%. Not just that. The other big story from the Statistical Service report was that Ghanaian economy is now crossing 1 trillion Ghanaian cedis. It's gone, you can change that, check that in dollars. It's gone to 1.2 trillion Ghanaians, the size of the economy. Akufo-Addo has grown the economy from what he inherited to 1.2 trillion. We had that. So that put us in pole position, and everyone was looking for comfortable seats to listen to the budget, which was presented to Parliament and was national television. Every media house had it. Now, when the budget came, there are questions that are disturbing me. This is the budget that is coming after Akufo-Addo's criminally managed economy, which grew the economy at 5.7 and then also got the economy to 1.2 trillion. Now, let's look at the allocations. And this is where the corruption happens. This is the corruption issues that we have been talking about, and which actually won the campaign because the NDC narrative was able to convince Ghanaians that MPP is corrupt. MPP were not able to sufficiently defend themselves that they are not corrupt. So the NDC won the election. But this is where the corruption is. The Akufo-Addo budget of 2024, the one that was criminally managed, the one that was not managed sensibly, the one that brought Ghana poverty, it's allocated to government's Jubilee House, the office of the president. Give me the figures. It's allocated to the office of the president. 327 million Ghana cedis in 2024 was allocated by Akufo-Addo to the office of the president. I remember Samuel Kujeto Ablakwa held a press conference about this and complained. In fact, Kujeto Ablakwa referred to it in his Asempa interview, that Ablakwa complained about 327 million being allocated to the MPP. Viewers, shift to the right-hand side of your screen. Look at what NDC is giving to the office of the president. 2.7 billion, a whooping 2.7 billion. You are inheriting economy that was criminally managed, which allocated to the office of the president in terms of salaries. the people at the office of the president, deputy chief of staff, director this, director that, this, that, everything. They said Akufo-Addo had people who were chefs. They had people who were unnecessary. All the people Akufo-Addo had in his office in Jubilee House, they were costing 3.27 million Ghana cedis to the taxpayer. Please give me the figure again. Check what is costing John Mahama. For John Mahama, the budget of Addo Forson is asking Ghanaians that we are taking 2.7 billion cedis of your money to Jubilee House. Akufo-Addo, the criminally managed economy, took 3.2 million cedis to Jubilee House. John Mahama, the saint, the election winner, is taking to Jubilee House 2.7 billion Ghana cedis. What are they going to use it for?
Other format in some na a course so in Guasicas na to John Dramani Mahama no say Nana do Danko Akufo-Addo sika or allocate a call Jubilee House a man and the workers na there or Jubilee House on was 327 million Ghana cedis. Sika Nana do Danko Akufo-Addo or allocate call Jubilee House and a fancy be an expenditure or the call Jubilee House no 327 million Ghana cedis. But John Dramani Mahama on one sika or allocate called Jubilee House in the office of the presidency, 2.7 billion Ghana cedis. In the same of 2 way, no one analyze your more why and I see an or criminalize the economy, and now why not see no or say economy, not for we are some sebe, woman call 9 or 7 by this year.
That's the corruption right there. That's how it starts. If we don't check these things and let the finance minister come and explain to us, why are you sending 2.7 billion Ghana cedis to John Mahama's office when the criminally managed economy did 3.27 million? So whilst we don't have the opportunity yet to interview the finance minister, these are the questions that he should be answering to the general public. Honorable Kesla Addo Forson, why are you allocating more money to Jubilee House than Akufo-Addo did? Not just simple more, a whooping more. 3.327 to 2.7 billion. What are they going to do with that money in the Jubilee House? RTI must come. We have to ask them, what is the salary of all the directors in Jubilee House? What is the salary of what's the salary of that? Let's go to more analysis. Let's go to the GDP analysis. There's another one. Another question I have. I'm not an economic expert, but these are questions, and I believe they are relevant questions. Now, the GDP situation is as follows. You see it on the screen in a minute. The Akufo-Addo GDP was 1.2 trillion 2024. Now, look at the left side of the screen. In 2013, President John Dramani Mahama inherited an economy from Professor Mills at 93 billion Ghana cedis. In 2016, when John Mahama was leaving after 4 years, he had grown the economy from 93 billion Ghana cedis to 167 billion Ghana cedis. Okay. Akufo-Addo inherited 167 billion in 2016. By 2024, admittedly that's 8 years, John Mahama is 4 years. But by 2024, see the figure. Akufo-Addo had grown the economy from 16 billion to 1.2 trillion. This one is what they say the economy was criminally managed. I don't understand it. I'm just asking the finance minister questions. This is the economy that was criminally managed. Where in Africa? Have you seen an economy grow from the size of the economy grow in 8 years with COVID, with Russia-Ukraine war, with inheriting a negative growth, inheriting doomsday, inheriting all of those things, creating one district, one factory, creating so many things, creating the students who were supposed to be NAPCO, and creating all of those things, and then he's able to grow the economy to 1.2 trillion, and we are told by the new president that Akufo-Addo's economy was criminally managed. Figures don't lie, and figures, that's what Bawumia said. If you do propaganda with the economy, the figures will expose you. The propaganda is over. These are the real figures. Where is the criminally managed economy? The economy that grew from 167 billion to 1.2 trillion in 8 years has been criminally managed. Don't just say 8 years. What were in those 8 years? COVID came in. See the government expenditure and the low growth of COVID. COVID ended in 2021-22. Quickly, Akufo-Addo has recovered. and is able to hand over an economy that the statistical service says, not Akufo-Addo saying, not Mohammed Amin Anta saying, not Vice President Bawumia saying, but the statistical service says the month's economy grew by 1.2 trillion. Statistical services are politically inanimate. They don't do politics. They don't care. They don't have political blood running through them. They say it as it is. And they are giving us the figures. And the finance minister, I don't know how he felt walking into the budget session, because just few days before, statistical service had told you that your predecessor did so well. Now, let's look at the figures still. Now, this 2024 economy.
Order for in 70 year adults na was medimuna see here because just say indicators in our chest and another than Akufo-Addo no or increase the economy, and I said the growth of the economy no pija economy any growth from 167 billion Ghana cedis no John Dramani Mahama ija to 1.2 trillion 1.2 trillion Ghana cedis until no bibia chess and another than Akufo-Addo Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia no economy no ye answer no moko and John Dramani Mahama when in Basikesi idea for Ediama John Dramani Mahama and this for we should be dealing in our bro our automatic so therefore see idea we didn't see macron.